Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Flounder 1960193 and says, friend is mad at me because I wouldn't buy essential oils from our friend who works for an MLM. All of us 25 female. Now, I'll just remind you, if you are new to Reddit stories and you haven't heard of MLMs, they are multi-level marketing. It's just been a while since we've read one, so I was pretty excited when I saw this title. And it starts off, so up until very recently, I honestly had no idea that essential oils were sold by MLM companies, or that people thought that they had healing powers. I've been diffusing them for a few years because I like that they are cleaner and safer than candles and incense. That's the only reason. Last week I invited 3 old friends from high school over for wine and appetizers. Just a typical hangout. My friend Katie invited Kara. Kara went to high school with us, but I was never close with her, so I wasn't friends with her on Facebook or anything. As soon as Kara saw my diffuser, she said her side job is selling essential oils and basically started pitching me. It was pretty obvious right away that she works for an MLM, but I honestly didn't care. The way I saw it, since I use these oils all the time, I'd rather support someone I actually know than give my money to some company on Amazon. So I told her to shoot me a Facebook message later and we could talk about it. Anyone who's familiar with MLMs knows what's coming next. I was prepared to pay for a bit of markup, but the prices were insane. Kara wanted close to $30 for something I could get for $5 on Amazon. So I thanked her for reaching out and told her that the oils were way out of my price range. Kara tried to tell me about how her oils were more pure than mine and how they have healing powers. I told her I'd just go to the doctor when I'm sick and I don't need the oils for anything but making the room smell nicer. Then she got a bit nasty. Told me I'm poisoning myself with my cheap oils and said I wasn't smart enough to see the opportunity she was presenting me with. Basic MLM stuff. And I barely know Kara, so I didn't care. The issue is the text I got from Katie yesterday. She said it was really rude of me to lead Kara on and make her think I was going to buy something, and that she didn't think I was the kind of person who'd buy from a faceless corporation over supporting a friend who owns her own business. She said I didn't need to start buying all my oils from Kara, but it was downright disrespectful of me not to at least try a product and see if it was better. I honestly stared at my phone for a straight minute after I read that message, but I finally sent the following reply. I didn't waste Kara's time by hearing her sales pitch. I was legitimately interested in her product until she mentioned it was 6 times what I normally pay. Any legitimate business person would understand how important pricing is to people and would be smart enough not to back a company that charges that kind of markup. Personally, I think it's a bit of a stretch to call Kara a business owner. I think an actual business owner would know better than to insult a potential client after they chose not to buy anything. And they certainly wouldn't turn around and trash that potential client to mutual friends, as Kara clearly did with you. It's been over a day, and Katie still hasn't texted me back. She's obviously acting like a jerk, but she is a really good friend and I don't want this to end our friendship. Should I reach out? What should I say? Now, as I said, we haven't covered an MLM story in a long time, but always when we covered these stories, I always talk about this person that I knew that got into MLMs, and they've done several different ones from candles to makeup to other stuff, and they always get themselves hooked into it. Like saying, oh, this particular bit of makeup will change your complexion completely, and then putting 2 photos on, one where it's really bad light and she's basically sat in a cupboard, and the other one which has got like perfect lighting. And in the one where she sat in a cupboard, she's not smiling, and the new one she's smiling, so it instantly makes the photo look a lot better. And as with most MLM companies, they try and get you to recruit your friends as well, and they have to buy like a £250 startup kit. But this cheeky Kara comes up to you and tells you and insults your intelligence by saying you're not smart enough to see the opportunity she was presenting you with when she's the one that's in the MLM. These companies are absolutely predatory, but Yellow Roman Candle says that business owner is deluded and brainwashed, and your friend is either down the MLM rabbit hole with her or an asshole. You're respectful and reasonable. Your friend and the MLM Hun, let me guess, doTERRA, Young Living, were not. You can't stop your friend from being unreasonably mad, and she can't force you to waste your money to save someone's feelings. Let her come to you. Otherwise, I'd say you need space from her. Not Happy Jane says you are right and you know it. Friends don't guilt their other friends into buying overpriced items from them and get mad when they don't have the budget for it. She was also pretty mean and personal about your choices. Friendship should not be conditional on that kind of support. It's supposed to be about emotional support, not financial. If they can't accept that they are not really your friend anyway, and they sound like they have been brainwashed by MLM, I'd basically smooth it over and call her up, or keep talking to her because you have to move on at some point. Unsure Throwaway says, honestly, I wonder if your friend invited Kara along because she knew you already used essential oils and would be an easy mark. Now they're mad you didn't play into their plan. Let your friend stew. You're right and you both should know that. If she considers you as good of a friend as you consider her, this will pass. Inquiring about the products someone is selling and then declining when it's clear it doesn't fit you isn't leading them on. It's literally the whole point of working in sales. Yeah, and I kind of think that comment is right, that Katie brought Kara along under the premise that she was going to get some free item if OP bought some items from her. You know, it's one of their things. I used to get proper into MLMs. But 853 says she can only recommend things to buy, but cannot force you to buy it, which you need to make clear to her. If she is mad at you for such kind of things, then you cannot do much and no need to go out of your way to make her happy, as that is not required. The bad thing is that she was mean to you, which suggests she is not your real friend. This is a red flag in your friendship to be careful, and do not allow people to take advantage. Jar Jar says, I used to be Kara. After I got out of it, MLM, I realized I turned many people off and how crazy I used to look and sound. I don't regret experiencing it because it led me to meet people and made real friends out of it, but it is something that isn't fit for the majority and is very unstable, socially damaging for some. I think you explained yourself politely and honestly to Katie, and don't really need to say more. I wish Katie were to understand your perspective. And absolutely that, it is very socially damaging. I know for a fact that the person that I was talking about that used to basically spam Facebook all the time, create multiple groups, invite people all the time. You know, these people put them on basically mute, or I can't remember what it's called on Facebook. Basically, that person wasn't able to see that you pretty much blocked them. But that's what happened. They're just like, I don't want to see that shit on my timeline anymore. But OP come in with their update and said, this isn't the update I wanted to be writing. A lot of you made correct predictions the other day. Katie is absolutely in Kara's downline. She just started making Facebook posts about the essential oils she's selling. I think this is probably the final nail in the coffin of our friendship, which I'm sure sounds dramatic, but hear me out. Katie and I have been friends since high school. The main thing that held us together these years was being burnouts. Neither of us went to college. Both of us just got shitty jobs out of high school and did nothing productive. When I was 22, I decided I was sick of making $12 an hour, and I went back to school. After 3 years of busting my ass, taking credit overloads and doing evening classes after summer internships, I recently graduated with a CS degree and got a coding job with a top 10 tech company. While I was in school, I had a difficult time making friends, probably because I was older than everyone else, and I clung very hard to my high school friends like Katie. My friendship with her definitely was strained though. She seemed to think that me bettering myself meant that I looked down on her. Things started getting really difficult when I started getting high-paying internships. They got worse when I got an extremely well-paying job right out of college, and she saw what kind of apartment I was able to afford. Katie lives in a very small apartment with a roommate. She would talk about how school had changed me for the worse and how I thought I was better than her. Some of it was just her projecting insecurity, but some of it was also probably tactless behavior on my part. The truth of the matter is that I do think Katie is capable of being better, and it frustrates me that she'd prefer to buy into a pyramid scheme than get an education. Her parents still have a college fund, and I've told her that she's welcome to it. It's something like $100K, way more than she'd need for 2 years at a community college and 2 years at a state school. if she chooses to go back. But I guess she'd rather